Today I want to talk to you about grieving. Probably half the Psalms, slightly less, are lament Psalms. They're Psalms where we're grieving, expressing raw emotional pain to the Lord. Psalm 61, for example, Psalm of David, he says, "Hear my cry, O God, listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I call to you. I call as my heart grows faint." These Psalms, and there's lots of them, are Psalms that start off with the psalmist's pain, and he's expressing his pain, and it's raw and it's honest, but he's reverent still before the Lord. And he gets all this pain up and out of his soul. And in this season of our life, there's a lot of pain that we're experiencing. And so we've got to express our hearts to the Lord and get the pain up and out. The problem is, if we don't get this stuff up and out, it's like an infected splinter, and it becomes very sore and painful in that area that isn't being attended to. And it's the same with the soul. And so, I was making a bullet list today of just some of the losses in my life. Most of us think of grief as someone dies, and we think, oh, we have to grieve their death. And that's true. And in this season, we're going to experience people who are dying. I've already lost some people that I knew through this COVID-19. But a lot of the grief is about loss. And we've lost a lot more than just people's lives around us. We've lost a lot of things that are important to us. Yeah, it starts with death. But the reality is we've lost a lot of freedom. A lot of us are stuck at home all the time. I keep making these videos from my house because that's where I am all the time. We've lost the ability to go out and do things that we used to do. And some of the losses are big and some of the losses are small, but they have a cumulative effect if we don't unpack the suitcase of our soul and process those losses in our life. So just think with me about some of the losses. We've lost the ability to go out. We've lost the ability to go to restaurants. We've lost the ability to interact with our friends and our family. My parents are getting old. I can't even go and see them right now, and I've lost the ability to connect with people. I mean, sure, you can still Skype, you can call, you can text, but it's not the same as being with someone. We've lost finances, a lot of us. People have lost jobs. I just saw something this morning that Macy's was going to lay off 130,000 people. There are 3.3 million people in the United States that filed for unemployment this last month. It's the most we've ever had by 4 times. I mean, there's been a tremendous amount of financial loss. Many people lost, huge amounts of money in their retirement funds and IRAs and so on and so forth. So there's financial loss. I've lost the ability to travel. I've lost the significance of what I was doing, where every week I was engaged with people and there was life change and there was momentum in the kingdom. And I've lost a lot of that capacity to impact people. We've lost a lot of comforts. For me, in the travel, one of the things I lost, it's a minor thing, but it is going to be a loss for me, is my 1K status with United. When I go out and I travel and you're doing 150,000 miles a year, which one day we'll probably get back on a plane and do this again. And when I do that, those comforts that they produce through that status make a big difference. And so some of these things we've lost are little. Some of these things we've lost are big, but they all need to be processed. We need to unpack these kinds of loss, and we've got to process this. That's what the psalmists do all the time. They process their pain. They're honest. They're honorable still to the Lord. They're raw, but they're reverent. They get it all up and out. And what I love about the Psalms is at the end of these Psalms, they all do the same thing. They turn to the Lord in trust. So they process all this stuff, and then in the end, they come to the Lord. All the lament psalms sound the same. They sound like this. Oh God, life's really, really bad. My heart really, really hurts. Where are you? How come you haven't come through? What are you up to? And then in the end, it's okay. I trust you. I surrender. And they yield their lives and they turn their hearts again to trust in the Lord. I want to encourage you in this season. Pray the Psalms. Pray them back to God with your own words. Pray your heartache to God. pray your losses through, and then surrender to the Lord. When we do that, we empty the suitcase of our souls, and we help access the peace and rest of Jesus.